Do you freeze when your clock starts ticking down? Do you make a lot of blunders when you have less than 2 minutes left? This video is for you. Hi, this is Grandmaster sign. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm gonna talk about 5 important tips that if you can do exactly, your results when you are in this situation, when you are in time travel, will get much better. Now, before we go to those tips, let me tell you something. The clock is ticking, your heart rate is up, and you are looking for a miracle, and suddenly you're freezing. You don't know what to do. I've been there thousands of times, like many of you. So, first of all, we need to know that time travel is king of chess problems. If you have this problem, even if you try to work on your opening, middle game, end game, anything else, your rating may not go up because eventually you will get to time pressure, and at that moment, even if you have an amazing position, if you are really winning, it's confusing and the result can be reversed. So you need to try to avoid time pressure. But let's assume that for some reason you had some deep thinking in the middle game or in the mid game, and now you are in time pressure. What you can do in this situation? I will give you those tips. First, I will explain them one by one, and then I will show an example on the board, and then I will have some conclusion for you guys. Let's go to the first tip. So the first one is try not to find the best move, but the lowest risk move in this scenario. So try to find the moves that even if they are mistakes, they are not big mistakes. Let me give you an example. Look at the board, please. In this situation, as you can see, black has one more pawn and very comfortable position, by the way. So if you try to be perfectionist, by the way, most players try to be that actually, even in time pressure, and try to tell yourself, okay, if I play g5 here, it's completely winning. How? He needs to move the queen, let's say to g4, I will take and take the second pawn. So when you are in time pressure, you see that and just tell yourself go. But in fact, g5 is a bad mistake. Now white can play knight takes f5, and actually we cannot take f4 because of knight g7, forking the king and the queen and taking it back. White has one more piece. So again, in the real game, instead of playing e takes f5, okay, the position is not that good anymore, but at least it's almost equal. Black tried to be clever and played queen g6, which is the second blunder, and now knight takes e7 again. Unexpected move. If he takes the queen, now we take his queen, and still white has one more pieces. So as you can see, try not to find the best move if it's hard for you. Try to find the move which has no risk or the minimum risk. For example, in this position, knight takes e3 was much easier. It cannot go wrong. It cannot be losing. It cannot be that bad. Okay, it may be not the best, but at least you are gaining sometimes. Then going to castle, for example, then going to easy moves, rook aca, try to play b5, try to put the knight to a5, c4, improving the knight slowly. In this scenario, you may lose some great opportunities to finish him, but at least you have no risk. And let me be honest with you, most of the players do exactly opposite of that. They try to find the best move and they lose on that scenario. So don't be that guy. The result is the same. If you try to win your opponent slowly, or if you try to win him fast, it doesn't matter, guys. It's still 1 point. But when you are in time pressure, because you are stressed, there is a high probability that you make a mistake. So try to do better than this and try to find the lowest risk, like changing the pieces, like going castle, like improving your pieces. That would be enough. Let's go to the second tip. So the second tip is the correct rhythm. Like, try not to play too fast. That's very important. and try not to play too slow. If you play too fast when you are in time pressure and try to run away from that situation, most of the time you will make a very bad mistake because it was too fast, by the way, and you don't have enough time to think, and the game will be finished by itself, even if your time is going up, doesn't matter. And if you play too slow, still it doesn't count and you may flag also losing. So in this scenario, try to find the correct rhythm. For example, let's say you have 40 seconds. Try to use 20 seconds, 30 seconds each move. Check everything, try to place low risk and play something. For example, look at this position. We are white. In this situation, we have a rook against a knight. So material, we have more. But the problem is his pieces are activer than ours. So instead of going back, let's say playing rook c1 or something, we take rook takes d5, changing the rook with the bishop. But now our game is easier. It's easier for us to find moves here. Our plan is simple. We want to play e4, we want to play knight c3, knight b5. We want to, put pressure on f7. That's it. But if you go back, let's say you play rook c1 or something like this, that would be harder, and by the way, it's worse here because of knight e5. Now he wants to take our bishop and then open his own bishop. That would be hard, especially in time pressure. Maybe if you have enough time, you may find something good. But in time pressure, try not to weakening your own king. Try not to be perfectionist and try to find a rhythm. Try to play somehow which the next move is also easy. The next move is also easy. So this way you will have enough time to think, and you don't need to think more than that because it's not that hard to find the best move. So that's the second tip. Let's go to the third one. So this tip is about playing a lot of over-the-board games. I know most of you try to play a lot of online games because you don't have time or it's hard to play over the board anything, but the thing is playing online is so different, even in Blitz, than over the board. Because when you play online, you're in your comfortable zone, you may be in the home, you're in pajamas and everything is great, and by the way, you may not care even about the result. But when you go over the board, actually, you are trying to win a prize or you are trying to do your best, you are actually spending time for that tournament. So when you play over the board, you will find the correct rhythm, as I mentioned before. For this part, I will give you one of my own games. It's online, but I want to show you all these 3 points until now. I'm white and my opponent is a good Grandmaster. Let's go e4 and my opponent played d5. I will go for the opening because it's not that important for this subject. So what I'm trying to do from here is I'm trying to developing. Do not try to think a lot about something difficult, but I want to be fast. That's why d5 here is pretty interesting move. Avoiding castle, and I'm preventing this move very good. So he cannot go castle. If he takes, I take it. If he takes, I take it with the bishop. Now he needs to take back. So the problem here is his king is exposed. And by the way, this is also another important point. Defending the weak king in the time pressure is most hardest thing that you can do in your life. And try to do it to your opponent, especially in the Blitz and Rapid. So after few moves, because he cannot go castle, still it's very hard for him, and he cannot take my rook. Obviously, he will be mated. So my position is simple. I'm not trying to find the best move. I'm not trying to finish him. All I'm trying to do is find some useful moves, like queen e3. It's completely useful. I want to maybe in the future play this move, or I want to play rook d1 and avoid rook a7. He cannot play rook a7 anymore because my queen right now is in e3. Now this way I cannot play wrong, and it's just the correct rhythm. It's very fast, it's without risk, and How can I do this? Because I played a lot of games, especially over the board, by the way. So after a few moves, as you can see, my position is winning. I won a material and the game ended very soon. That was the third point. So the fourth point is try to do a lot of simple tactics. You may find it very simple and you may find it boring, but if you do a series of them every day on your practice routine, your mind will be blown and your performance will be much faster than usual. Look at this position, for example. It's too easy. All we need to do is take a rook first on e8, then take the queen. That's so simple. Let's go to the next one. Still the same. All we need to do is try to defend e2 square and try to play f3, for example, then taking the bishop. That's all you need to think of. So it looks easy, but believe me, it's really useful for your mind. A lot of this time, I think, for example, personally, I do some 3 to 4 series, and in each series I will do about 10 easy tactics every day. And this way I will see a lot of things so fast, even during the time pressure. Look at this position again. All you need to think of is, okay, your queen is in danger and you need to take the bishop. One of them is not enough, but if you do them for like 10 to 20 every day and you do them for a month, 2 months, after a while, each level doesn't matter. Your mind will be much faster. And that's the fourth point. And the last point is memorizing and understanding patterns. Now, chess for expert level players is kind of boring. Why? Because they know a lot of patterns and these patterns are repeatable. They happen a lot of time. For example, look at this position. If you are in time pressure and you have this position, you may find it quite difficult, by the way, because it's complicated and your knight is a little bit in danger. He wants to take your knight and you don't know exactly what to do. But the thing is, for a grandmaster, this position needs a very simple pattern for white to go ahead and find it really fast. How? Let me show you. All we need to do here is try to play bishop h7, check. He cannot go to h8, by the way, because we take it and then, okay, we have a winning position. And if he goes to f8, rook e4. Now this bishop h7, rook e4 is kind of very common pattern. And by the way, after this move, if you know about simple tactics on your level, maybe it's not simple for you, but for like plus 1800 people, it shouldn't be that difficult. All white needs to do is play bishop g6, brilliant idea. Obviously black needs to take. Now g4, threatening the queen. He needs to take our pawn. Now rook c3. So why bishop g6 was really important here? Because now if black plays queen h4, we have a fork. So this is another important rule that you can memorize. Let's go to conclusion, guys. Instead of trying to find something miracle or instead of trying to play a lot of online games, I gave you 5 important tips that still I'm telling you. You may believe otherwise, but they are really important. The first and maybe the most important tips were try not to find the best move, but the lowest risk move. Try to find the moves which gets the game to continue and is good enough without any risk, without any bad king on the board for yourself or without any losing material. So in this way, you have a very good chance that your opponent is the first one that making a mistake. That was the tip number 1. Now, the second tip was try to find your correct rhythm. Try not to play too fast, but not too slow. Try to find the correct rhythm which you can actually think enough and find the lowest risk move in the board. The third tip was try to play over the board Blitz and Rapids a lot, not online, because this way you will experience the real chess and the kind of chess, the kind of training that it will be useful for your standard games as well. The fourth tip was try to solve a lot of simple tactics. This way your mind would be faster. And the fifth and the last one is try to know and also memorize a lot of repeatable and common patterns like this one. This way, in the real world, when you have a situation, you will find the best move faster because you already know about the kind of things that can go in the game. So I think that is enough for today, and I believe it will be useful for you guys.